Hello there everyone, and this is Rackets96 here with a quick little video on this Nerf rayven. This Nerf rayven was featured in my rayven review. I got it off of eBay, modified, didn't have a jam door, now has a jam door. There was also another rayven on this channel that I got off one of the Facebook sites. That rayven was is now deceased. Unfortunately, the motors were completely burnt out. It was attemptedly converted to a 9-volt, which completely fried the motors, and it no longer worked properly. So I did a little bit of surgery, mainly the jam door. Jam door came with me. The barrel is actually the one in the Oblivion rifle. And this is actually going to be my new HVZ primary. Granted, if I had figured this out a little while ago, I wouldn't have had the strife in the video, but there won't be another loadout video for at least 2 months once I get back into the swing of things. So this rayven is been extensively modified. I am running on 3 truss fires and 1 dummy battery back here in the battery pack down here, completely rewired with a thicker gauge wire. Red, because I know what they mean. I have gone ahead and already taken out all the wiring that this came with, because it was, I believe it was stock wiring. The switch, still running off the stock, which is perfectly fine. Pretty loud, running out of the, I believe these are stock motors, in all honesty. I believe they are stock motors, yeah, because they have their little panels right down there that, others wouldn't have. Well, anyway, completely rewired. No high flow switch or anything. Just the only thing really done here afterwards is that spring has been added, so I get a very crisp trigger return. See if I can show that to you. See that really stretching out there. That was the goal here, to make this kind of like a Strife performance when the trigger shoots back. I have white lithium grease all over me because I just greased that up. This back here is actually hot glue. Just dried in there. Was thinking about putting epoxy putty on top, because that would be a little bit of an ordeal, but definitely might do that. Just to make that seal, but I believe the hot glue is doing wonderful. And that's just a normal spring I had laying around that has actually melted a hole through that. You can kind of, sort of see it sticking out right there in the middle of nowhere. It is super glued, hot glued on both sides to hold the bond entirely. Everything relubed. Little return spring down there. I was thinking about adding a spring there too, but that would be way too much overstress. Motors, wires. All the good stuff right here. Now this trigger, because it's not locked down with the rest of the shell, is extremely hard to move on its own. I love it. It sounds awesome. So yeah, just a little bit of cosmetic done. Went in and painted up, not Nerf, the marks here, every little mark on the blaster itself, around the outside of the motor cage, rayven, end strike, and all the little markings along the side are now black, as they were not before. So this is actually ready to be... Oh, I forgot the end strike tooth. No, it's in there. Ha ha ha. Proving myself wrong today. I'm actually going to go ahead and... most of these screws are actually still in here. So I'm going to go ahead and lock them down as we talk here. Moving on, that back there, a lot of you guys are going to recognize that. This is the main piece right here, is actually, there's not a screw in this spot, that is a long strike stock with the magwell, or the 2 magwells in the back there, attached to what was a Raider stock attachment that I just had the end to, didn't actually have the stock itself. It has been hot glued. I don't know if you can see any, no, actually you can't see much of the remaining hot glue. There you go, now you can see the reflectiveness right in the little hole there. A little bit of hot glue left. on site, and piece right here is actually PVC. And this is just not focusing. Kill this light. Maybe that's the problem. There we go. This piece here is actually sitting right on the edge of where the where that sticks out. So it is perfect. It was sitting there with hot glue. Then the PVC was super glued to the blue piece here on the inside. Once that dried, it was hot glued to the stock attachment for stability, so the hot glue bond could dry. And then the epoxy putty put on over top. The very crude placement because it will be sanded. Filling in a hole here, and then connecting here to make that bond better, and a ton of it there. This has only been curing for about 3 hours, so it's still a little wet. And then the PVC tubing, I will probably be putting more epoxy putty right there where my finger is to kind of bridge that gap, as well as the gap up top there. But just to show that it actually works effectively, Recon Mark II. And there we go. Prime weight, holds it all, and boom. Locked right in to it. Very nice. Nice to put up against my shoulder. Nice stock, nice stock. And this is kind of cool. This is the first Nerf stock I have made. And then the taking off is just as simple as, well, it's a little bit more difficult now. There we go. And then that is how it comes off, just nice and simple, still by pushing down the button and getting it to release. So that is sitting back there. Meanwhile, so yeah, this will become the new HVZ and Nerf War primary. Of course, unless I am just playing with the family, then of course I will. This screw is being a real pain in the rear. Magnetic tips on screwdrivers are wonderful, until you want to use them for something. Other than running around here with the family and all that, this will, otherwise this will be the primary blaster of choice for me. I mean, running around with the family, I don't want to hurt anybody. And this will hurt a lot. But this was completely redesigned from what it was to be a very, very, very sleeper style rayven. First look, I mean, it's not really anything special, just a little bit of detailing on there. I wouldn't think this has, well, really much going on at all. I mean, I don't even know if that spring in the back is going to work, guys. Worst comes to worst, I will have to go back in there and cut it to make sure it works. Or if it doesn't work, I'll have to go in and cut it to fix it. But, so now this is the procedure I do when I'm modding, in all honesty. I just keep one of these containers, which I have everything stacked up in, Lego included, and I just use one of them just to hold all of my screws. You know, and the magnetic tip on this screwdriver is so helpful. This is probably going to be a good 15-minute video, but really wanted to show how I do this. So I was going to show the whole mod procedure, but that would be a little extensive. I'd have to have you up on a stand while I'm soldering, and if I don't do something right, I tend to throw a few choice words at it, and that would definitely not be okay. Just looking for screws, looking for screws. I don't know why I'm putting you guys over the screws. So yeah, this is how I mod, and you can see my flashlight attachment there. My next custom showcase is on the lab table, ready to start his procedure. Yeah, this is how I do things. I do everything pretty much at the same table. I don't have a garage space to do certain things in. I do everything right here. Everything from cutting shells, which clearly had to be done with that. That was actually done with a hacksaw. And then cleaned up with a Dremel bit. 3 screws left, guys. Yeah, but what 3 is it, though? That's going to be the problem. Screw, screw, screw. Ah, no screw down here in the magwell. Probably shouldn't put them all in just for the fact of, what if that spring doesn't work? Well, I already have 99.9% of them. I might as well just put the last tack rail piece in. And, see what we got here. The next one is up at the, barrel attachment. And because this has such a long barrel, otherwise, I would definitely put a, oh no. There we go. Otherwise, I would put a barrel extension on it, because that's how I roll. But the barrel is all the way from the end of that bump right there, all the way out the muzzle. I'd love to take it out, but there's no other way to guide these darts down the out of the shell. So now, close up this jam door. Flashlight attachment because tactics. Awesome. 18 dart mag, full of various darts. And that is it. I did have some lag there for a second, and I'm hoping and praying to God that it was because of a little bit of gunk on the end of that pusher. Nothing's still stuck down there. Totally not supposed to look down this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to grab a smaller mag here, a 10. And I'm going to throw the same darts I had in here, which is Elites, many Elites. The 4th, or 6th dart down is going to be a streamline. 2 streamlines in a row. And then these are actually, the yellow are actually X-shot darts. I will have a video up on them themselves in a little bit. Probably, definitely not tonight. And a few more Elites. So we have Elites down there. Streamlines, X-shot, and then more Elites. To see if there's any specific ones that aren't working, but personally, I think this spring is great. Alright, and it was actually, now that that is done, I know exactly what darts it was. Can't find one now. It throws them everywhere. It shoots them all the way back at me, which is freaking awesome. But anyway, the darts it was having a problem with are these. Air Warriors Ultratech darts. They have a little bit of extra glue up here. You guys can see that. There you go. I just peeled all this off, but it's like right there, you can see it. And it gets stuck in the flywheels, and it wants to throw them, so it just twists them back and forth until they just fly away. Just to prove that. I feel the need to prove myself here. Plus, this is kind of the video style I am used to, in all honesty. The kind of just doing because why not? That was, I've used that line so many times in my videos, so there are 4 of them in there. Get this 10 mag out, get the 6 mag in. That's actually not really made to match, but... So yeah, the last one didn't even make it out of the barrel. So yeah, that is the new powerhouse of a primary this guy will be using at pretty much everything except for some fun and play. So these are the darts that don't work in flywheels, guys. That is just a little heads up to anyone who wanted to use the cheapest darts out there, and that is these. You think you can get a 40 pack of these, an Air Warriors bonus pack for pretty cheap. I don't recommend them for flywheels. If you're going to use a Springer like the Mark II, then please feel free. So guys, that is a very good view of how I mod, plus the mod is wonderful. I recommend doing it, and I will have a closer look on this blaster if necessary. And if you guys want to see that, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.